Welcome to the Deep Dive. Today, we're pulling apart the blueprint of a legend.
John D. Rockefeller.
Right. And if your mental image of him is the standard one, the ruthless monopolist who just got lucky.
The right place, right time kind of story.
Exactly. Prepare for a complete overhaul. The material we're diving into today suggests something, well, something much deeper.
It really does. It suggests he wasn't just building an oil empire. He was running a completely different game.
A game centered on infrastructure, on order, and this is the key phrase from his own people, the game of human minds.
It's such a powerful distinction, isn't it? We always focus on the what, the monopoly, but we miss the how and, more importantly, the why.
Why control the railways and the pipelines? Why worry about how people thought about, of all things, lighting their homes?
It's because he understood that the person who crafts the system, the person who brings order, is the one with the real power.
So that's our mission today, to uncover the operating system behind that control. Why did his method lead to what our sources call a new order? Okay, let's unpack this.
And to really get it, we have to go back. Way back. Before the empire. We have to look at a single moment that set the entire course.
Cleveland, 1865.
Exactly. And there's this really strange auction happening for a company called Clark and Rockefeller.
Wild scene. Because it's not some outside bidder. It's the partners, Rockefeller and Maurice Clark, bidding against each other for the whole company.
Winner take all. And the bidding starts low, something like $500.
But it just shoots up. $10,000, $30,000. Staggering money for that time.
Until it hits $72,000. And at that point, Clark he quits. He walks away.
And Rockefeller, at 26 years old, wins. He pays about $72,500 for his own company. I mean, that's a colossal risk.
It's a huge risk. But what's so important about that moment isn't just the money. Rockefeller himself said it. He said, "That was the day that started all success in my life."
So it wasn't just about buying a business.
No, it was about his temperament. It proved he could stay completely calm under immense pressure. He didn't flinch.
And that calmness it's everything when you look at the industry around it.
Oh, it was pure chaos. I mean, the sources describe it as explosion, chaos, surplus, and rivalry.
Just economic anarchy.
Exactly. And while everyone else was chasing that chaos, the boom and bust cycle, Rockefeller saw something different.
He didn't see oil.
He saw a vacuum. He saw the potential for order, for tranquility and structure. And that right there was the fundamental difference between him and everyone else.
Okay, so that decision, that $72,000 bet on himself, that sets the course.
It does.
So let's get into the execution. This is where it gets really interesting. He seems to have operated on three fundamental principles that basically governed his entire empire.
Absolutely. And the first one is just brilliantly simple. Who controls the infrastructure controls the game.
This isn't about oil anymore.
No, this is about logistics.
Yeah.
He realized the real power wasn't drilling for crude. Anyone could do that. The power was in the bottleneck.
The application of this was just obsessive. He bought the barrels.
And the wood for the barrels, and the ships, the storage facilities, and eventually the pipelines.
He owned the whole chain.
The whole chain. So think about it. If you're his competitor, even if you have a better well, you still have to pay his price for transport.
It doesn't matter how good your crude is.
Nope. The final price is determined by the infrastructure, which he owned. He could choke the flow anytime he wanted.
So his famous ruthlessness wasn't just about undercutting on oil prices. It was about squeezing the margins on the logistics that everyone else depended on.
That's the move. And it leads right into his second principle.
Which is?
Who creates order seizes power.
Right, because the industry was a mess. All these tiny companies and endless price wars, losing money.
They were vulnerable. So when Rockefeller came along, he wasn't just a predator. He was offering an escape from the chaos.
He was offering stability.
He was. He consolidated all these struggling companies. He standardized their practices. He introduced rigorous accounting. He basically said, I will end the price wars, but you have to let me set the terms.
So he didn't just play the market. He became the market.
He was the only one offering reliable structure. And in a world of chaos, that structure is power.
But this all still feels very mechanical. How does the human element fit in? That brings us to the third principle, which is maybe the most profound.
This is the masterstroke. Who understands human psychology wins.
Okay, break that down.
Well, his competitors were reactionary. They acted on emotion. They'd chase a boom, then they'd panic during a bust. They were terrified of risk.
But Rockefeller wasn't.
He sought calculated risk. He understood a core paradox. People act on emotion, but the system must run on reason.
Wow. Say that again?
People act on emotion, but the system must run on reason. His competitors were driven by fear and greed.
And he just built a system that was immune to that.
An emotionless system based on facts and numbers. So when the market crashed and everyone else was panicking,
He was buying.
he was buying when others were afraid. He could afford to wait them out because his infrastructure was solid. His victory started to seem inevitable. He actually factored in their irrationality.
You realize you're not fighting a man, you're fighting a machine. A perfectly logical economic machine.
It's terrifying.
So if you peel it all back, this is less a story about oil and more. A blueprint for managing complexity in human behavior.
It really is.
Which brings us to the big question for you, for the listener. What are the real lessons here? We've sort of distilled 4 awakenings from this. What does this all mean for you?
I think the first one goes right back to that auction in 1865. And the lesson is that success is a decision.
It's not luck.
It's rarely luck. It's a moment of commitment. With that $72,000 bid, he was purchasing his own future. He was eliminating his exit strategy. That's often where real success begins.
That point of no return. And that leads right into the second lesson, doesn't it?
It does. True leadership is finding order in chaos.
I mean, every part of your life has its own chaos, right? Your job, your finances.
Always. And the people who gain influence, the real leaders, aren't just reacting to that chaos. They're the ones who dare to create structure, to write the new rules inside the panic.
That takes a certain kind of perception, though, which is lesson 3.
Yes. Great wisdom is the ability to look through the surface. Most people saw oil, a black liquid, a commodity.
Black gold.
Right. Rockefeller looked past the product, and he saw the underlying mechanism of control. He saw power in transportation and finance.
Seeing the infrastructure instead of just a transaction, that's a huge shift in perspective.
It's everything, and it all builds to the final and maybe most critical lesson.
Which is?
If you do not create the game, you will forever remain a player in someone else's game.
Oof, that one hits hard.
Think about it. If you're just optimizing your life within the rules someone else has given you, at work, in your career, you're basically just making their system more stable and efficient.
You have to ask who benefits most from you playing by their rules.
That mechanism is true everywhere. Rockefeller won because he realized he wasn't meant to be a better oil driller. He was meant to be the architect of the whole system.
And it all came from his personal maxim, didn't it? I learned to respect the smallest numbers and facts.
Exactly, because the person who respects the truth, the hard facts of logistics, of leverage, of human psychology, that's the person who can actually change the dynamics of the world around them.
So we started this with the idea that he was playing a psychological game.
And he was. And if the dynamic of power is always about who creates order and who manages emotion, then the biggest question we can leave you with today is this.
Whose game are you living in right now?
When you look at your own life, your own career, are you building the system? Or are you just a player, optimizing within the boundaries that somebody else set for you?
That is the real challenge in this blueprint. We hope this deep dive helps you see the systems at play in your own world.
And maybe, just maybe, encourages you to build a little order of your own.
We'll see you next time on The Deep Dive.